Hey everyone, and welcome to another meeting of the Tropical Rum Society. As always, I'm Matt, and today we're going to be looking at another one of the rums that I brought back from the islands of Hawaii while I was over there last year. I picked this one up alongside some of the other rums that we've actually previously talked about on this channel, so I'll drop a link to those videos in the description below if you're interested. But finally, it's time to talk about Mahina Premium Rum. It's been a long time coming, almost a year at this point, so let's get settled in and have a chat about it. Now, as I've said in previous videos, I am not a fluent Hawaiian speaker, so if there's any pronunciation that I get wrong in this, let me know, but I will give it my best crack. The Hale'imele Distilling Company is on the tropical island of Maui over in Hawaii, on the slopes of Haleakala, I believe is maybe how you say that. Either way, it is a beautiful tropical area surrounded by pineapple fields and other exotic tropical plants. It was created by the Leveke family, who have a strong history in the spirits industry before actually getting into Mahina, including brands such as Hana Bay and Whalers Rum. Two brothers from the family started the distillery around 15 years ago, bringing master distiller Mark Nigber out from the mountains of Colorado to the hills of Hawaii. Their goal is to create Hawaii in a bottle, which they do by sourcing local ingredients, hand making their spirits in small batches, and using fresh Hawaiian spring water to create those spirits. Speaking of which, they make a range of spirits, including vodka, whiskey, gin, and of course the rum that we're talking about today, Mahina Premium Rum. So, Mahina is a 40% ABV rum that is distilled, blended, and bottled in Maui. It's essentially a spiced rum, but I'm not entirely sure what the base rum is made of. When I looked it up on their website, the homepage said that they use a rich, sweet molasses to produce the rum. But when I went to the actual product page, it said that it was made using raw turbinado sugar and Kona coffee distillate. Either way, it's produced using Hale'imele Distilling's proprietary pot stills, which gives it a unique and full-bodied flavor. This distilled liquor is then spiced with Madagascar vanilla, cocoa essence, clove, cinnamon, and citrus oil. So it definitely seems like this one's going to have a lot going on in terms of flavor, both from that pot distillation as well as all of those things that get spiced into it. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the appearance. The Mahina bottle is big, dense, and feels very well weighted in the hand. It's definitely a statement piece that doesn't shy away into the background when it's put onto a shelf. The label on it is gorgeous. It's got a ton of detail with a bunch of depth to it, some nice gold accents, so all around the presentation on this rum is very, very nice. Without even getting into the liquid yet, that premium rum statement on this label definitely feels true just from holding this bottle. So let's get this poured into a glass and see if it continues to live up to that. All right, let's crack it open with that nice cork top. Didn't get much of a pop out of that, which is a little disappointing, but that's all right. We'll pour some in here. Oop, that'll do. All right, let's take a look. The color in this one is very dark, almost like a blackish sort of brown. There's bits of red and orange that are in there as well as the light passes through it. But when I first saw it in that bottle, it definitely reminded me almost of like a soy sauce. Maybe not quite as dark as that. Definitely not now that it's in the glass, but very reminiscent of it when I first saw it. Let's get into the nose of this, and hopefully it doesn't smell like soy sauce, because I'm wanting to drink a rum and not put it on top of some sushi. So, okay, so definitely not a soy sauce sort of smell, but it's also not what I was expecting from this. I was expecting this one to be a really thick, dense, sticky sort of smell, but it's actually much, much lighter than I was expecting. There's a little bit of an off sort of smell at first, which made me want to pull back, but after a few whiffs, that's kind of subsided. And the first thing that I noticed is that I don't really get any of those spices that have been added in. Like, I'm not getting the citrus oils or the cloves or anything like that. It's just kind of like a light brown sugar, caramel, and vanilla sort of smell. So I'm a little bit disappointed with the nose, but let's get into the taste and see if that has got those extra elements. All right, so again, definitely not soy sauce, and this is much closer to what I was expecting when I saw the color of it. The smell of this had me a little bit worried. I was thinking that it was going to be completely different from what I expected, but this is a much deeper, more intense flavor than the smell led me to believe. It starts off with a little bit of that caramel brown sugar sort of vibe, but then quickly transitions into something that's closer to the coffee side of things. There's a lot more spice and bitterness that comes out in the flavor, but I would say it's a little bit unbalanced in terms of that cacao and citrus oils. I'm not really getting too much of that. It definitely leans much more towards the clove and coffee sorts of flavors. After a second sip, there are hints in there of that citrus oil. I'm really not getting too much of the cacao, and it's definitely heavy on those coffee and clove flavors. So I guess overall that deep dark color does give an indication of how deep and rich the flavor of this one is. If you've been around for a few meetings, you've probably gathered by now that I'm not usually a fan of coffee or really bitter things in general, but this is actually okay. I can deal with this. It's a nice change from all the very sweet rums that we've been having in our previous reviews. It's always good to have a little bit of variety and mix things up a bit in your life. I don't know how much I'll actually personally end up sipping on this one. It's fine in small amounts, but I can't see myself drinking this all night. But I definitely have friends who can, so I'll probably end up sharing it around with them. Maybe I'll even get them into a future meeting and we can revisit this one together. So if that's something you'd like to see, give the video a like. And obviously, if you're not subscribed and you do want to see that in the future, hit that subscribe button so that you can join the society. In the meanwhile, I'm going to finish this off, go get that bottle on the shelf, and I will see you in the next meeting.